Hello everyone. I hope that wherever you are at, it is a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day here. Even though the sun is going in and out and it looks like it might start to get some cloud cover, it's okay because this is the day that the Lord has made and I will rejoice and be glad in it. There is so much rejoicing in my heart right now. This morning, my husband and I left early and we went to see Jonathan and Marika, and I got to hold that beautiful little boy. I got to kiss his cheeks and count his little toes, and oh my goodness, he is just perfect in every way. And that is something to rejoice over. Anyways, I hope that you will want to join me for my day, and I will talk to everyone in just a little bit. I believe it was last week that I had a friend who is also a fellow subscriber message me asking about a recipe that she would be able to use as an ointment, as a healing salve or ointment, that because she had some tea tree oil. And so I went ahead and I sent that recipe out to her, and it dawned on me that, you know what? I've never shared this recipe on YouTube. So I thought that I would do that today, because I think that especially as we go into this time of year with kids going back to school and everything, sometimes, you know, there can be a lot of little scrapes and bumps and bruises. And that's what this ointment is for. It's just for simple scrapes and minor cuts. So what we're going to need is just 2 tablespoons of refined coconut oil, 2 drops of tea tree oil, 2 drops of lavender oil, 2 drops of frankincense, and 1 to 2 teaspoons of beeswax. And I use the beeswax pellets. But anyways, we're just going to make a makeshift double broiler on our stove with a 1 cup glass measure into a pan with a little bit of water, and we're just going to melt our ingredients. So hey, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so in my glass measure cup I have 2 tablespoons of refined coconut oil, and there is a difference because this is going to be an ointment. We need to have it refined, not unrefined. So I cook and eat with the unrefined, but the refined I will reserve for when I am making stuff that, like, you know, for my face or for my body, or in this case an ointment to treat wounds. That is an antibacterial ointment. So refined is coconut oil that has been bleached and has been deodorized, and then you don't have to worry about any bacteria building up in it naturally. So that's why we go with the refined. So we're just going to stick this in a pan with just a little bit of water, along with 2 teaspoons. Oops, I almost put in a tablespoon, didn't I? It's going to be 2 teaspoons of your beeswax pellets. And we're just going to turn on our stove, and we're just going to let this melt. That's all we're doing. We're not cooking it. We're not bringing it to a boil. We're just allowing it to melt. So I'll go ahead and let this melt, and I'll bring you back when that's ready. Okay, as you can see, this is all melted. The beeswax takes a little bit longer to melt than maybe what you would think. But once it's melted, I turn that off and I take it out of the water. Now, I forgot to tell you that you're going to have a container to put your ointment in. And it does need to be either glass or some sort of a tin or ceramic like what I have here, something not plastic, because most plastics, essential oils will eat away at it. So we don't want to do that. And this just happens to be an old face cream jar that was a sample that I had gotten years and years and years ago, and I kept it and I just cleaned it out. So this is just one of the many different things that I use, and I just put a little piece of pretty paper around there, and even though you probably can't see it, I can. It says antibacterial ointment. The other thing that I want to tell you is that, you know how on the inside of your lids there is usually a piece of paper or like maybe styrofoam? You need to remove that whenever you are using anything that does not have a preservative in it that is going to go on our skin, because this is a place where bacteria can hide and start to build up, and mold can start to get up behind there and can eventually contaminate our product that we've made, and we've worked so hard to make it pure and natural. So remove that top part. And the next thing is that let your combination of coconut oil and beeswax, let it cool down a little bit. We're not going to add our essential oils into this. Not yet. We're going to wait for it to cool down. You do not want to heat essential oils. They will lose their potency. So I'm just going to let this cool down, and I will bring you back when we are able to put our essential oils in. So I will talk to you and show you what that looks like when this is ready. Okay, so here we are, and you're not going to believe this, but I actually had to put mine back on the stove and reheat it to melt it, because between getting caught up watching a YouTube video and then the postman stopping by with a delivery from Amazon, and the fact that it is storming outside, so I needed to bring that box in, yeah, it got too hard. So yeah, if that happens to you, don't hesitate to just stick it back on there and melt it a little bit more. That's what I did. So now we're just going to add our 2 drops of tea tree and 2 drops of frankincense and 2 drops of lavender. We will give this a little mix, and then we will just put it in our container. Just like that. And all we need to do is to store this in a relatively cooler location, because it's just coconut oil and beeswax, it can melt in extremely hot temperatures. So if you need to, you could even store it in your refrigerator, and this is ready to go for any little scrapes and cuts. Anyways, I'll talk to you in just a little bit. Our devotion today was given to me by my daughter-in-law, Annette, and I just wanted to give a little shout out of thank you. And our scripture verse is found in Isaiah chapter 55, verses 1 and 2. Come, all you who are thirsty, come to the waters. And you who have no money, come, buy and eat. Come, buy wine and milk without money and without cost. Why spend money on what is not bread, and your labor on what does not satisfy? Listen to me, and eat what is good, and you will delight in the richest of fare. This scripture exhorts the thirsty to do 3 things: to come, buy, and eat. We don't need any money to buy, so all we have to do is come and ask for the 2 things mentioned here, wine and milk. But why specifically wine and milk? Perhaps we can understand it when we think of it as milk representing what we need for health, for life, for subsistence, the needs in life. On the other hand, wine is used in Scripture for celebrations, for feasts, joy, and could even mean not only what we need to have, but what we want to have, the extra desires in life. You know, as a mother, I was obligated to meet my children's needs, but what joy it was when I could delight their hearts by giving some of the fun extra stuff too. Surprises, a few things I knew they wanted, extras, just for pure pleasure. Our Father's giving is just like that, only much, much more. He is the perfect parent, and in this passage, he declares that he wants to supply both our needs and our wants, what we need for health and what is for pure joy. God does indeed delight each of us. Oh, he isn't going to give us what he knows will harm us, even if we ask for it. He won't give us what would spoil or indulge our flesh. But as God, who knows all things, who does all things well, who is all loving, he longs for us to ask him for everything. For our daily bread, and certainly for whatever will meet our needs. But he also asks that we ask for the extra little things that he takes great pleasure in giving us as well. Now, that's something that we all should be excited about. And with that, I want to remind you, life happens. Let's enjoy it. And the next time you have a little extra something in your heart that you would like, ask the Lord to supply that need. Ask the Lord to supply that desire. And he'll answer it in the very best way possible. So I will talk to you tomorrow, and God bless.